We want to go now to the Right Reverend Marianne Edgar Budde. She's Bishop of Washington and the spiritual leader of about 40,000 congregants in the D.C. area. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Margaret.
I mean, let's just be frank. This has been a really brutal year on a lot of fronts. Those who can least afford it have borne the brunt of the health impact, of the economic impact. The racial and political divisions are really bitter in this country. How do you make sense of a period of time like this? What is the purpose?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. And let me say that when you're going through a trauma as vast and as complex as what you've described, that speaking too quickly of purpose can be counterproductive, because I think we have to feel it first. I think we have to live it, we have to see it, we have to hold it in our hearts and let our hearts break. And then we have to experience what human beings have always experienced across time and space, that spark of resilience and determination and renewal that lives in each one of us, that is never satisfied or is able to rest when things are at such low points. And that's when we're given insights into purpose. We're given insights into meaning, not as a plastering over to make ourselves feel better, but as the kind of hard-won insight that allows us to move forward with humility and wisdom and greater compassion.
You said we need to let our hearts break. You know, there are so many people who in this moment are really struggling with mental health issues. The isolation has really exacerbated some of that. How are you counseling people to come to terms with that?
There are a few tried and true things that we say to one another in times like this, which is the importance of trying to stay as connected as we can to the things that give us joy wherever we are. And so if it's being able to take a walk outside on a beautiful day, if it's a phone call with a friend, if it's being the one thinking about someone who might be cheered by a word or a card, anything we can do to restore or to hold on to that sense of connection. I'm a person of prayer. I also believe that God speaks to us in the quiet of our hearts, and also in those unexpected moments when we might be sustained by strength that comes from beyond us. But I don't want to minimize how hard this is, and how there's not a right way to go through a pandemic, right? I mean, we all struggle with our highs and lows, and to be merciful with one another and compassionate with each other.
For people who seek solace in faith, many want to do that in person, right? They want to go to a house of worship. Many of them closed, understandably, for health restrictions. Where is the line that you draw between, the public good and infringing on religious freedom, which has become a big political fight here?
First of all, in terms of safety, wanting to do our part as part of the social fabric to make sure that nothing we do for the sake of our spiritual practices might cause harm to anyone gathered or to anyone who might be affected by our gathering. So that's sort of baseline for us, and then to adopt whatever means are available to us via technology to worship as best we can. The second thing, though, is as guidelines and parameters have been established that do allow for some kind of safety in gathering, to help our people do that. And so we've established protocols and guidelines to ensure that people can worship safely in person, according to the guidelines that were given by our public health officials. So we follow those pretty strictly, and we monitor it daily. So I guess it would say, there are numerous ways we can gather and pray, thanks be to God, but there's also that longing to be together. And right now, like everyone else, I'm holding it in tension and walking day by day, trying to determine how best to lead.
Bishop, thank you for your wisdom this morning. We'll be right back.